But first, let's start off with Algeria, where lawmakers have elected an Islamist opposition figure as chairman of parliament under pressure from mass protests demanding the departure of the ruling elite. The parliament elected Slimani Chenin of the Movement of National Construction Party to replace Mohamed Bouchereb from the National Liberation Front, FLN, which has ruled Algeria since independence from France in 1962. Bouchereb resigned a week ago, 3 months after Abdelaziz Bouteflika quit as president, also pressured by demonstrators seeking democratic reforms and government personnel changes.
Indeed, Algeria has been the scene of unprecedented popular protest movements since February, and after successfully pressuring President Bouteflika to resign, the demonstrators are now demanding the resignation of all the leaders who have been in power over the last 20 years. Slimani Chenin, the only candidate, was elected in a show of support. To discuss further on the issue, we are now joined by our correspondent in Algiers, Tariq Hafid.
Bonjour.
Alors, ma première question, le Front de Libération Nationale, the country's leading political power, lost the leadership of the Algerian Assembly to a member of a minority Islamist coalition. It was a phenomenal day for the elected members of the National Assembly on Wednesday. The National Liberation Front, which has a majority in the lower house of parliament with more than 160 MPs, had to vote in favor of a candidate from a coalition of 3 Islamist parties composed of just 15 MPs. Former President Abdelaziz Bouteflika's ruling party, National Liberation Front, took over the leadership of the assembly in May 2002 after his resignation. Slimani Chenin, a member of the coalition of the 3 Islamist parties, Enad, Adal and Elbina, presented his candidacy at the last minute, the very morning of the election of the new parliament speaker. In a matter of hours, all parliamentary groups expressed their allegiance to him, including the National Democratic Rally of former Prime Minister Ahmed Ohia, who is currently awaiting trial. On Wednesday, the FLN members of parliament tried to resist. Strangely enough, they refused to support their own Secretary General Mohamed Jimai, who was recently elected head of his nationalist party.
Tariq, what more do we know about Slimani Chenin, the new president of the new parliamentary speaker? What more do we know? Tell us.
The politician is from Ogla, the main metropolis of southern Algeria. Slimani Chenin was a founding member of the Islamist party Hamas in December 1990, a party close to the international movement of the Muslim Brotherhood. Hamas leader in Algeria was Mohamed Mahfoud Nana, a charismatic guy who opposed the Islamic Salvation Front, an extremist Islamist party by Abbas Madan and Ali Belhaj. Slimani Chenin claimed to be part of the Republican and Democratic wing of Hamas. He vehemently opposed terrorist violence in the dark decade. But the internal crisis suffered by the Movement of Society for Peace, a name imposed on Hamas in 1996, forced it to distance itself from politics. He decided to create a Center for Strategic Studies and a media group. In 2014, as soon as Abdelaziz Bouteflika was re-elected to a new fourth term, Chenin participated in the creation of a new political party, Harakat El-Bina Watani, the national building movement. He was elected as an MP for Algiers in the 2017 parliamentary elections from a coalition of 3 political parties. Over the past 2 years, Slimani Chenin has been a great critic of Bouteflika's power. Will Slimani Chenin have a role to play in the political dialogue initiated by one side of the opposition and civil society? This can only be decided by the members of the parliamentary coalition. It should be noted that Chenin was the only member of the Algerian Assembly to have demonstrated in the first march of the popular movement on 22nd February. Since then, he has not missed any demonstration, either in Algiers or in Ogla, his hometown. Moreover, the president of Algerian Assembly is not hesitant to support the popular movement. His party also participated in the dialogue forum held on 6th July. The current agreement is for the country to organize a transparent and democratic presidential election as soon as possible. Chenin is well versed with the running of a state and is well acquainted with the press. We must remember that Slimane Chenin would not be the parliament speaker without the support of the real power. That's the military power. It remains to be seen whether he will have the free rein to move the dialogue forward in the direction desired by the popular movement. We will know in the next coming weeks.